Hello and welcome to Perry Public Library. I'm Scott and we're about to do a session on useful apps for phones, tablets, and iPads. And these are generally useful for everyone, in particular folks who are trying to remember what pill am I supposed to take and when. So I'd like to show you specifically how to download this app on your device, your phone, or your tablet, and then actually give us some tips and pointers on how these are used. So you ready? Okay, here we go. This first app is really helpful in keeping track of medications, when we take them and what dosages and so forth. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to use an iPad, and on our iPad we're going to go to either the Play Store or the App Store, and iPads have app stores. It's this little blue square with an A on it, and we're going to tap that to find the app that we're looking for. Now it just so happens that the app we're looking for is called Pill Reminder, but if you don't know where that's at, what you want to do is look for magnifying glass, like up here at the very top, and it may be at the bottom right hand or left hand of your device depending on where you're at when you bring it up. But we're going to bring that up, we tap on that, and we're going to type in Pill Reminder, and there it is. Yeah, it has a little anticipation thing. Sometimes it's already there. You can just tap on that, but we're going to hit done and look for something that says Pill Reminder, and it just so happens on the upper right hand side, the right hand column, it says Pill Reminder all in one. See the little cloud with the down arrow? Down always means that you're going to download that application into your device, so we're going to tap that. Cloud is basically just another word for a server that's somewhere out in California that has the information that you need, and download means that it's putting that specific information into your device. So that downloaded, you saw that circle went around, and now it says open, so it should be about that fast. We'll click open, or I guess we'll tap open, not click it. And it says Pill Reminder would like to send you notifications, and it's asking you, do you want that to be the case or not? Allow or don't allow. Well, since we want to be reminded of these things, we do want to allow that. So we're going to tap allow, and going forward it will send us information. Now just looking at this, there's two columns. One is very colorful, has cute little pictures, and the other has the lines. At the very top where it's left it says Pill Reminder, has a little blue cog looking thing. Cog always stands for settings, whether you're on your telephone or your tablet or anything electronic. Computers, you see something like that, it always means settings. So that you can go into, we're not going to, but you can go into settings to set up the way that you want it to show. So this is already set up. So it says days and it says medications, and on the left hand column there's a little blue square that says start here. Tap this button and add new medications. So we're going to do that. Tap medications. Now we go to the right hand column. Basically the right hand column is the breakdown of the left hand column heading. So the heading medications now is showing up on the right hand, and what we want to do is add all of our medications into this. And you see at the upper right hand where there's a plus, it says edit and then plus. Well, plus always means add, so we're going to add or plus a medication. When we tap that, it brings up this little square box in the middle. Oh, good grief, look at all this stuff we have to fill in, right? Well, you can fill in as much or as little as you want. You can just have the name of it if you want to, or just the dosage or a day or whatever. But I'm going to go through each one of these so that we're familiar with everything about it. And remember the days when it was like, would you like paper or plastic? Well, that's kind of gone. I mean, now it's like, what kind of paper do you want, what color, and which material plastic, and where do you want it to have come from? That's kind of what we're looking at here, all these little details. So on the square you have cancel, add medication, and save. Those are headings. Below that it says name, so we're going to type the medication name. See the little triangle? When we tap that, that means there's options, so we tap that, and it comes up and it says medication name. Well, let's just say Tylenol, just for the lack of what else to say. All right, Tylenol, it says search US FDA database, and if there's something that you needed to know what it was, or you needed something a little more particular, you can tap on that. We're not going to. But now that we've got that, we can say done at the upper right, because we're done with this particular screen. The next thing down from name is dose or dosage, so we're going to tap that little triangle, and this gives us what dosages do we want to take. Well, it shows right now that there's a 1 and a 0.00, and the little blue sentence above that says the amount of medicine you take at one time, for example 2 pills. So we're going to take we're going to say 2, and what we got to do is, this is a spinner, so we scroll or slide up to 2, and if we took 2 1/2 or 2 1/4, you could slide that like this, but we're just going to leave it on 0 for now. So I'll slide that back. So 2 full pills, and we're done with that. So the upper right, we tap done. And the next thing down is image. Now it shows to me an image there already, but that's just an example. We'll tap on that little triangle, and what image do we want? Well, you can select an image from this app, or you can take a photo of your own pill. Let's say you have a yellow pill with a line through it and a number or something like that. You might want to use that. Or you can choose an existing photo that might be already on your device. We're going to select an image from the app here, and that's going to give us all kinds of little images. And so what looks like a Tylenol pill? Let's just pick one. We'll go with this. All right. Now below this it says refill info optional. It's a blue line, and it gives quantity per box, current quantity, refill reminder, if you see all that. Now this may be important if you're getting something from a doctor. We don't need it for Tylenol necessarily, because once we use it up, we'll just go back to the Walmart or whatever store you shop at and get another box of Tylenol. So the refill information isn't necessarily necessary on this, but you can see that it's pretty self-explanatory. We'll drop below that to expiration date, which is another optional thing. And again, we don't really need to do anything here, but if you needed to add an expiration date on your pills, if you had maybe a year's supply of whatever it is, you may have to indicate that this will expire on June 23rd of 2022 or something like that. We're in 2021 right now when this is being made. Expiration reminder means that we could tap on that and it would give us the opportunity to put a date that would remind me that I need to call in for a refill. Now below that, we can actually hold this down and slide the whole thing up, because there's more information where it says optional data. And this is some information that we're going to need to add. So user, who is this medication for? Well, you don't necessarily have to put anything in here unless there's several of you in the household and you want to use this for several of you at one time. So the user is going to be me, but just for the sake of showing you what that does, let's tap on that little triangle. And we're going to add or plus a user. And let's add a name, just whatever name, come up with something here. We'll say Davy, I guess. And then image. Do I want an image of Davy? Let's see what I have for Davy. Right now we have a young lady there. So we can select an image again from the app, or I can take a photo of Davy, or I can choose an existing photo that might be on this device already. Let's select one from the app and see what they have. There's all kinds of Davy women, Davy men, and if you keep scrolling down, there's Davy kids and teens, and even pets. Dogs and cats, no guinea pigs, no spiders, no snakes. But anyway, let's just pick a Davy. Let's whatever we like. We'll say Davy's our cat. Let's not use a cat. Let's actually use a human, because we want to use human medications. Now that I think about it, so we'll say Davy's going to be this gentleman right here. That'll work. Okay, save, and save was in the place of done. So save and done, they basically just mean the same thing. When I'm working on this particular screen, I'm completed. It's completed. I'm finished with it. So done and save equal the same thing. On the upper left, you'll see an arrow that points to the left, and that means go back one page. So we're going to go back to the page we just came from, which is this busy one right here. So user, who this medication is for, when we click that, it'll say this is for Davy, like this. There we go. And Davy is that person. Next line down, strength. Let's tap on that and see what strength that we have. And right now it's at 0 milligrams. See where it says normal, custom, and then below that it says strength, 0 milligrams. Let's change that to 500 milligrams. So down here, so basically we just slid the third 0 in up to 5, so it becomes 500 milligrams. Units, if you don't have a milligrams, if we tap units, it gives us other options. Let's say that you have milliliters or milligrams or whatever. So that's the unit of measurement. So we'll go back. And that pretty much takes care of that. So we are done with this particular page. And so we've got user, strength, and then route. So let's tap on that. That just means how is this medication going to get into you? Orally, through the mouth, or an injection, or topical, IV, and so forth. Is it an inhaler, inhalation? Well, it's an oral, so we've got that already. We tap it and hit and go back. So oral. And then the form, what is this? Let's take a look at form. And is it a tablet? Is it an injection? Is it a spray? Is it drops? Well, it's a tablet, so we tap that. And then the next thing is the RX or prescription number. And this might be important to go ahead and tap that. If it's something that's really specific to, maybe you have a medicine that is specifically prescribed by your doctor to the pharmacist, you may need a prescription number for refills and just so they can identify what it is. Tylenol is not a prescription. necessarily. It's generally an over-the-counter drug, so we're just going to type in OTC, capital O, capital T, capital C, and that'll remind me that my Tylenol is an over-the-counter drug, and then I'm done. And someone might say, well, it said done at the top. It also said done down there at the bottom where the words were, down here at the bottom right. So which one do I use? Well, either one works. They both equal done. So if I tap that, it takes me back to here, and I can be done at the top. And there we go. So I'm back to where I began. Active ingredient. Now, I'm not going to go into that, but you may need to know what particular ingredient is in the pill or the medication that you're taking. In some cases, that'll be necessary. Doctor, we can go ahead and tap on the doctor that is the prescribing doctor. There are no doctors, so we're going to plus or add a doctor. So from doctor, we're going to type in a doctor name, and we're just going to say that this is Dr. I don't know, how about Dr. D? There we go. And so we're done with that. We're going to save. And in your case, you might have several doctors. If you have separate things going on, and you got a foot fungus and hair follicles falling out, and then eyeball problems and something else, you may have 3 or 4 different doctors doing 3 or 4 different things. But anyway, that's where the doctor's name goes. We can go back. The next thing that we come to is pharmacy. So we can tap on that, and that basically just gives you the opportunity to plus or add the name of your pharmacy, which we'll do. And we're going to type in Walmart. We'll just say Walmart Pharmacy is who we're using. And if you want to put in the phone number, you can actually put a space and just add the number, say 440 555-5555. I don't know what their number is, but we'll just create it and say that's what it is. Then we can save, and now you have Walmart and their number, and we go back. And if you have other pharmacies, you can also plus and add on that very same page. So from pharmacy, we go to instructions. This would be, go ahead and tap that. This would be in case there's specific instructions from the doctor that might be pertinent to what you have to take. Take as needed, for example. So let's actually just type that just for fun. We'll say take as needed. Take as needed. And we're done. So there's that. And then notes. Let's go ahead and click on notes and just show you this is a free-form box that we can type in any notes that we need. I don't know what a note would be. Let's say leave lid loose, hard to take off, or something. Leave loose lid, we'll just say. Loose and lid, there we go, and then done. And so now we have that information on notes. And then side effects, sometimes this might be important. We'll go ahead and tap that just so you can indicate another free-form box may cause drowsiness, that type of thing. Depending on your medication, that may be important. And we'll hit done. There we go. And if we scroll up, is that all there is? I think that's, yeah, we've come to the end of the paper or plastic. So we've completed all this. The top right says save, and so we're going to save all of that information. If you hit cancel instead, you're going to have to re-input every bit of that again. So we hit save, and now it's saved. So up under medications, you can, on the left-hand column, you can see on the right it says Tylenol. And let's add another medication just for fun. We'll just rip through this real fast. So we're going to add a medication, and we're going to call it Dandelion. Done. And we'll just say that Dandelion is in the form of, let's see, a dosage. Let's hit dosage, and we'll say that we'll take one. One is fine. We're done. And image, and select image from app, and we're going to pick something else that looks dandelion-ish. Yeah, spray, that'll work, or a cream, okay? And no refills, no expiration. As we scroll down where it says optional data, user is going to be for me. Strength, let's hit that. And we'll say that the strength is normally, I don't know, give it like a milligram or a quarter, just we'll throw a number in there. Okay, 1 milligram, that's right, done. And then route, so we're going to hit that. Since this is a cream, this is going to be a topical thing, because we're going to rub it on us, I guess. I don't know why we would rub dandelion cream on us, but that's what we're doing. Form, instead of tablet, is going to be cream, all right? And then it's not a prescription, active ingredient, not worried about that. And let's just leave the rest of it for the time being. So we'll save. The point is now you can see that you have 2 medications to take. and maybe the dandelion medication would be something that you have to take daily, or maybe it's something that you have to take every now and again, but that would be something that would go into the notes section. All right, let's go to, on the left-hand column, reminders. You can see there's all kinds of different details on these things. So for reminders, we're going to add. So plus, add a reminder. The medication, if you tap on that, it's going to say which medication, and we're going to say Tylenol. And the next thing is Tylenol is for Davy. It's 500 milligrams, and the dose is 2. Below that it says name, and that's basically just a nickname. If you have something that's like the name of the medicine as Percocet, Mylol, blah 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 blah, and it has all these letters and stuff that makes no sense, so you can just say fingernail fungus or whatever medication or whatever it is. Sound is, this is kind of a fun thing, so we're going to tap default. What sound is it reminds us when the reminder comes on, it gives it a little sound, so we'll tap that so it sound, so you hear what it sounds like. And it sounds like that. I think you can hear that. And if you don't like that sound, we might use, let's say startup 3 just for fun. And it'll sound like this. Okay, so we're going to use that. We'll say done. That's the sound that it's going to go off when it's time to take that. And start date, when I hit today, is the next thing down. I can start this on next week or next month or whatever. We're going to leave it at today, but if we change it, let's go ahead and change it for a second. I just want to show you something. Let's say that we're starting on May 27th, and the doctor calls and says, no, we need you to start that today. So I can just click now, and that'll make it today's date instantly. You see how that moves? That's kind of cool. And if you click on calendar, or tap on calendar, I guess, it allows you to change the date to start it on the 28th or June 4th or whatever. So anyway, we'll leave it as this, so you can select or cancel either one because we haven't really changed anything. And done on this. And then below start date, there's add time. That means if there was another time that we needed to start this or take it again, we could add that. I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. Daily, weekly, monthly, we can take this on a daily basis, weekly or monthly basis, just like that, or a cycle every 21 days or every 15 days or something along those lines. Repeat every day. We're not going to repeat it every day. I'm going to tap that. I don't want to take this, which one is this, Tylenol? I'm going to take it every 3 days just for fun. So I scroll that up and say done. And so then that should show me, there it is, every 3 days is the time, the repeating time that we're going to take this. End date says forever. Now I can put a ending date on this. Forever would mean that I'm taking it even after I die, which obviously is not going to happen. But not knowing that date and not having an end date when this affliction is going to leave me based on this medication, I'll just leave it at forever for the time being. Now pre-alarm below that, all that means is it's an alarm that goes off to say in about 30 minutes, 15 minutes, or whatever, you're going to have to take a medication, and then the actual sound will go off, the one that we set up there earlier that says startup. But let's tap pre-alarm just so you see what it means. Right now it says no pre-alarm, but we can set it for 1 hour before. So I'll slide that to 1 hour, and then the minutes, let's say it was an hour and 15 minutes. I could tap 15, and it goes instantly to 15, or you can scroll to 17 minutes if you wanted to, if you were needed to be that specific, but whatever. So we'll hit done. So an hour and 17 minutes prior to when I'm supposed to take it, that pre-alarm is going to go off. And auto snooze means, it says there 10 minutes 3 times. That means that if I don't acknowledge that alarm, every 10 minutes, at least 3 times, 3 sets of 10 minutes that go by is going to go off again to remind me, hey, you have this medication that you're going to have to take. Now, if I scroll everything up, is that all the, yeah, that's all there is to this, to the add reminder. So I'm going to save all this. And if I didn't, once again, I would have to re-input all that information. Now, pill reminder says, hit that save again. What was that telling me? Pill reminder, no times added, please add at least 1. All right, so we're required to put in a start date and time. So see where the green circle with the plus is? I'm going to add a time. And we'll say that we're taking this at 8:30 a.m. So I'm just going to hit 30 minutes, or I could have slid that to 30 minutes. Either way, see that? All right, so we're done. So at 8:30 a.m. Now I think we can save. Let's try that. There we go. So we have reminders all set, and it even on the right-hand column it says reminder, Tylenol, 8:30 a.m. every 3 days. All right, back to the left column, calendar. Let's tap on that just to show you what that does. And you'll see that there's stars under some of these dates, but not stars on others. So the stars indicate that these are the days that something is going to have to be taken, and in order to find out what that is, you can actually look below, and it says 830 Tylenol, dosage 2, and so forth. Now, if you had multiple medications, you might have stars under every single day because one of the medications might be a daily thing. That would be listed down there as well. So every medication that you take is going to be listed under a star. So if we were to tap on the 22nd, I don't know if it even brings, yeah, there it is. It says no medications to take on this day. But if I tap on the 27th, it shows that there's a medication to take. So there we are. All right, back to the left-hand column. Oh, and there's one other thing. There's a little box beside the Tylenol down there. Now, once I take it, I can tap that and say, click, I've taken it. It gives me a little check mark. And there might be other medications below that I have yet to take for that day. If I accidentally tap that and I shouldn't have, I can tap it again and say, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. And it gives me that X to say, are you sure there's something going on with this? Tap it one more time, and it takes me back to the beginning again. So it's just a little toggle switch that toggles through about 3 times. Hopefully that sort of makes sense. Now, as we go back to the left column, once again, we have refills. We tap on that. And if we need to refill something, this would be the place to put that. And I'm not going to worry about it at the moment. This really is just reflective of when we were putting in the medications and reminders, all those little details regarding refills that we didn't need to put in. I think we said over the counter, just as needed, so we didn't really need to do anything there. Below refills, it says appointments. Let's take a look at that. That's kind of important sometimes because we got to go to the doctors for different things. We're going to add or plus an appointment, so we hit plus. And what are we going to put here? Name. Let's say that we got to go to the dentist. So optional, we hit name and we'll say Dr. Moeller. Dr. A-R. Get it? Moeller, dentist. Okay, we're done. That's kind of a joke. Anyway, the date. Now, we're not going today at 11:05. Let's say that we have to go to Monday at 9:30 in the morning. So we're going to tap today. And we're going to scroll to Monday, which happens to be Monday, May 24th. And we want to go to 9:30 a.m. Let's call it 9:25. Let's say 9, and then go 30 minutes and scroll back to 25. There it is. And now, if you, like me sometimes, would accidentally tap that button below that says now, because I'm thinking, okay, I'm done. I'm now done. But if I click now, whoops, it went back to right now. So now I have to re-input that information. So don't be in too big of a hurry. We'll go ahead and put that back to 9:25 again. Don't be in too big of a hurry to do the things that you need to do. Read first and then tap. That's something that all of us need to learn to do. So I'm done. I'll hit done. And if I were to hit cancel, that would have eliminated that information, and I would have had to re-input it again. So done is what we want to put. Now sound. Let's go ahead and hit that. That tells me that an alarm is going to go off, a sound alarm is going to go off. Let's scroll down and see what else they have. I think crystals, maybe 5 or marimba or something like that, maybe tones. Let's hit a tone. Yeah, we're going to use this tone, done, for this reminder. So that's the sound that's going to go off. And again, we have a pre-alarm, and this might be something that's kind of important. We'll go ahead and tap that. We'll say we don't need a pre-alarm for days ahead, but maybe several minutes ahead or an hour. Let's say that we need to remind ourselves an hour ahead of time, 1 hour, that this alarm is going to go off, that we got to leave, and we are done. So an hour before the alarm telling me that it's time to get the appointment is, that'll remind me that I need to go. Auto snooze, I'll hit that, because let's say that that alarm goes off, and right now it's off. It says no. It says choose if you want to automatically repeat this alarm until acknowledged by opening this app. So we'll turn that on, either slide it or tap it, and it brings up every 10 minutes or every whatever. We'll say every 10 minutes, and it's going to repeat up to 3 times, meaning that if I don't acknowledge that the alarm is going off, the pre-alarm goes off, it's going to go off every 10 minutes up to 3 different times until I acknowledge that. So I'm done. So we come to doctor, and what we have here is it shows a Dr. D, and this was from a previous session that we had done. We don't actually have Dr. D doing this. We have Dr. Moeller, so I'm actually going to have to change that to a different doctor, to Dr. Moeller. And the way that we do that is we tap on Dr. D to say this is the one that we want to work with. And whoops, let me go back to that. My apologies. I'm going to edit Dr. D. Edit, there we go. And see the little red minus sign? You can either tap that, or there's lines on, no, it doesn't. Okay. You can tap that and it will eliminate Dr. D, delete, yes, and poof, Dr. D is gone. Now if we go back, Dr. D is still there. Oh, I got to replace it with Dr. Muller, that's right. So I'm going to add Dr. Muller. And save. And back. And now we have Dr. Muller. Poof. So just in case you make a mistake, don't worry about that. You can always edit things, delete things, and change it all around. It's just like having an eraser on a pencil. It's just an electronic version. User is generally going to be me. Notes might be important. So I'm going to tap on that, and let's say that when I leave, I've got to don't forget the detour, because that might slow me down if I forget about it. So I'm going to just type a note here for myself. And done. And now that's at the bottom of that particular appointment. So you have an appointment with Dr. Muller on Monday, May 24th at 9:25. The tones are going to go off to tell me that, and I'll have a pre-alarm going off an hour before I got to be there. And don't forget the detour, and I'm going to save all this information. There, now it is saved. So that was appointments. Does that seem complicated? It's not really. You don't have to put all that information in necessarily. You can just put in the time, the day, where you're going, or whatever. Reports is exactly that. I'm going to tap that, and that just gives me a report of the medications that I take, or the administration, or how I've taken them, the history of how I've taken them. If I hit medication list, what it shows me is the medications that I take. And if you see the upper right hand there, it says email. That means that I can actually email that off to someone else. I might want to email that to myself. When I tap that, what it does, and my particular tablet here that I'm using from the library, that my email is not set up because it's a library tablet, and so there's multiple users. On yours, though, your email probably is set up, and it would take you directly to your email. You can say, this is an attachment I'm emailing to whoever. You may want to email it just to yourself, to your own email address, and receive it, and that way it's always there, so that in case say you're out on vacation, or you're with someone else, and you think, am I supposed to take something? And you can't remember, but you don't have your device with you. You can look on a phone or another computer somewhere and look up your own email, and you would have received this very information of what you're supposed to take. So just so you know, that's an opportunity, or an option, I guess, to do that. So close, and we're going to close out of this. Medication administration history, we're going to tap on, and that just shows basically the same thing. And if I hit the right arrow that says go to start date, this what date do I want to show the history from? Last year, last month, or whatever? Well, it's set up for May 14th. I can look at the last 30 days worth of information, or the last 60 days, and end date is today. This is just going backwards in time as a history is all this is doing. And once again, I can email this to myself, or a new doctor, or whoever I need to. So I'm going to go back, and then on the left-hand column, we'll close. On the left-hand column, it says taken as needed. So tapping this just allows me to see any medications that I may take as needed. So take as needed might be just a medication like Campho-Phenique. I get cold sores every once in a while when the weather changes. So I would plus, and just, again, I'm not going to, but I would fill in all that information like we've done before, and then save it at the top. And again, this is the same thing as when we were filling out the medications. It just pertains to only taken as needed. So we'll cancel out of this at the moment. And then finally, users, we can tap on that. This pertains to if you have multiple users in the home, or that are using this particular app. And Davey is the one user, and you might have a spouse, you might have a child, or a pet, or something that you need to remember to give medications to, and you can add whoever you need to, and whatever medications and whatever appointments to the users as needed, and then that'll show up on your calendar, as well as the give you the tones to reminder tones that say you need to be at this appointment, or you need to take that particular medication to whoever needs it. So there you go. That is the Pill Reminder app. There's other apps that are just like this on the internet you can find. You want one that is free. You don't necessarily want to pay for an app to download it. because if you can get them for free, they do the very same thing. You might as well, right? Save your money. And if you have any questions on any of this, please feel free to give us a call here at the library, 440-259-3300. You can ask for Scott or any of the librarians. Be happy to help you with this, or stop in and see us for that matter here at Perry Public Library, and we'll be glad to help you with all of this. So hopefully this has been helpful and you're still awake, and don't forget to take your pills.